Hey blues fans, glad you made it. Time for another episode of This Week in the Blues. It's our weekly take on blues history. I'm your host, Jimbo Big Train Madsen, with the blues band Big Train and the Locomotives. Now, I know a lot of you are keeping track on this because you write in and tell me. So, this week's episode is brought to you by Guilty as Hell. Guilty as Hell. Guilty as Hell. So with that, let's take a look and see what happened this week in blues history. Legendary bluesman Floyd Jones was born July 21st in 1917. He was born in Arkansas, and Jones grew up in the blues-fertile Mississippi Delta. He came to Chicago in the mid-40s, working for tips on Maxwell Street. Floyd was right there when the post-war Chicago blues movement first took flight, recording with harpist Snooky Pryor in 1947 and piano player Sunnyland Slim the next year. Jones remained active on the Chicago blues scene until shortly before his 1989 passing. Here's another Floyd birthday. Blues-drenched jazz and jazz-drenched blues guitarist Floyd McDaniel was born July 21st, 1915 in Athens, Alabama. He moved to Chicago in 1930 when he was 15 and was a part of the Chicago music scene for most of his 80 years. In the mid-1950s, McDaniel bought a bar in Chicago. He continued performing, however, backing the singer Sam Cooke, and in 1971 joined the Ink Spots as a guitarist, a job that lasted 10 years. Swamp blues guitarist Swamp Fox Tony Joe White was born July 23, 1943. He's best known for his 1969 hit Poke Salad Annie and for Rainy Night in Georgia that he wrote but was first made popular by Brooke Benton in 1970. He also wrote Steamy Windows and Undercover Agent for the Blues, both hits for Tina Turner in 1989. On Friday, July 24th, 1964, the Newport Folk Festival featured blues artists Mississippi Fred McDowell, Elizabeth Cotton, Sleepy John Estes, Yank Ratchell, and Hammy Nixon. This and other festivals helped revive careers of a number of blues musicians in the 1960s. A pioneer of country blues, guitarist Sylvester Weaver was born July 25th in 1897. He's a significant yet under-recognized figure in blues history and made his mark as one of the first recorded blues guitarists. Weaver began his music career in the 1920s when the blues genre was beginning to gain commercial recognition. Weaver recorded Longing for Daddy Blues and I've Gotta Go and Leave My Daddy Behind with blues singer Sarah Martin, probably on October 24th, 1923 in New York City. 2 weeks later, as a soloist, he recorded Guitar Blues and Guitar Rag, the first blues guitar instrumentals. They are the first recorded country blues and the first known recordings of a bottleneck-style slide guitar. Blues singer Alberta Adams was born July 26, 1917 in Indianapolis, Indiana. She appeared at the B&C Club as a tap dancer, alongside artists such as John Lee Hooker. When a headliner was too ill to perform one night, Adams gave an impromptu 2-song performance, as a result of which the club hired her as a vocalist for a 5-year stint. Chex Records heard Adams performing on the Hastings Street and signed her as a vocalist in 1952. Adams toured with Louis Jordan, T-Bone Walker, Duke Ellington, Eddie Vinson, and Lionel Hampton, among others. And finally, on July 27, 1958, researchers from Esso Gas Company warned that tuning into rock and roll music on the car radio could cost you money. They said the rhythm of rock and roll could cause the driver to be foot heavy on the pedal, making them waste fuel. Oh, the foibles of youth. Anyway, blues fans, we just covered some of the highlights here. Now, if you want to know more about these artists or other things that happened this week in the blues, be sure to follow our social media pages or visit our website at bigtrainblues.com. We'll have a new episode next week, so we'll see you then.